Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. We've got a great show lined up. Always our weather first, brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. Looking at a high today of 86 and a low of 74. And, big thing what I talked about yesterday, I'll talk about later on in the show, these thunderstorms, they pop it up in the morning, they'll pop up in the middle of the day and sometime late in the afternoon. So it's that summer pattern, and just be careful, okay, especially if you're out on the water. Water temperature is right at 85 degrees. It's really nice. It's still tea-colored in St. Joe Bay. I talked to Herman Jones at Mexico Beach last night. He was talking about it. It just don't look healthy, and it's tea-colored in St. Andrew Bay still, so hopefully it'll clear up pretty soon. Now take a look at our river readings brought to us by Sandhill Seafood and Restaurant up on Highway 77, just north of Bozeman School. Looking at Apalachicola Bluntstown 6.3. We talked about it yesterday. It was sort of staying level, but it started dropping out last night. So it's dropping a little bit, and really that's why we almost have to do a daily river readings because you just can't anticipate, especially on the Apalachicola River, what they're going to be doing at the Chattahoochee Dam, on opening those gates or closing the gates, or it's just no rhyme or reason. Well, they have a reason, but we just can't anticipate what they're doing. And of course, Chattahoochee, we said yesterday, it was on the rise a little bit. It's at 7.3, and it sort of peaked out last night, but it's sort of going to drop a little bit. But I don't know how much rain, that rain is going to fluctuate just a little. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. High tide at 11:23 this morning, and a low at 9:41 tonight. So it's, again, incoming tide, high tide, right around the middle of the day. So really good fishing in the bays right now. Marine forecast be southeast at about 10. And like I say, keep in mind these summer thunderstorms. Now we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look right away at some pictures. And this is always special when we get a kid catching them, especially when you know them and all. This is Travis and Christy Denver Page, Travis Page and Christy Denver Page, his son. And they took Tanner and Bobby fishing this afternoon, and Tanner caught his biggest bass yet. Good job, boys. I know y'all will remember that. What a great picture, and we're just proud to put it here on Panhandle Outdoors for you. Good job, Travis and Christy, getting those boys on the water. This is one of my former students, Connor McLean. His granddad, the old timers will remember Max Fleming, and this was Connor's granddad. But this is the old rattlesnake he was holding up, and this time of year, a lot of big rattlesnakes. But what struck me on this was his tribute to his granddad. And here, I'm going to just read it to you because you want grandsons to feel this way about their granddad. Max Fleming was a grandfather to me, one of the greatest men I've ever known, and also one of my idols. He's responsible for my passion for the outdoors. He blessed my life with countless opportunities of hunting and fishing since my kindergarten years. A head full of stories and wisdom and understanding of friendship and so much more. I don't know who I would be without the impact this man has had on my life. Time passes, but the memories are strong, and I can't thank you enough, Mr. Max, everything you've done for me. That's from Connor McLean. I just love that tribute right there. Okay, Shark Week. I looked it up last night. I don't know if they're advertising yet, but the Shark Week is starting on Sunday, July 23rd, and it's full of stuff. I've looked at a whole, every night. They've been doing, I forget how many years they've been doing, how long they've been doing Shark Week. Forever, it seems like, but we still love Shark Week. I know a lot of y'all do too, and it's just great footage and always some really cool stuff on it. Okay, so keep that in mind. And the kids tournament, speaking of kids, next Saturday, July the 22nd, not this Saturday, but next Saturday will be that kids tournament down in Carabel. So be aware of that from 8 to 4. And the categories speckled trout, catfish, black sea bass, croaker, flounder pinfish, and Spanish mackerel and ladyfish. That's 8 categories, and they get a rod and reel, shirt, visor, and trophies and all kinds. That's just a really neat one right there. Okay, I wanted to talk a little bit. I told you I was going to talk about the scallop testing and all. I looked for the video last night. I can't find the video, but we used to go with them, and with researchers and biologists, and when they went to St. Joe Bay. But let me tell you basically what they do. I couldn't find it. So I'm gonna tell you what they do. It's 300 meters, okay? They go 100 meters, it's a triangle. Picture a triangle, and they put markers out. And each, from point to point, is 100 meters. So they go a total of 300 meters, okay? 2 divers go. And there's a line, there's a line that they'll hold, one diver hold on with the right hand, the other diver hold on with the left hand to get on either side of the rope. And whatever they find within 1 meter, which is 3.3 feet, a little bit over a yard, that's what they test. And they don't go in the center of a triangle, they don't go 10 feet away. That's the same scientific, and you make everything the same each year. So that's how they can do the research. So that's how they do it. And the first 30 scallops they get, they will go ahead and measure them, and after that, they want. The last couple of years, they hadn't had but that many to measure. 2 last year and 7 this year in the triangle average. But that's how they do it, and they do 20 stations. And it takes them a couple of days in St. Joe Bay, and they start back in the early spring in March and April. So they go all the way through June, and this is the last one. This one in St. Andrew Bay. The last 2 places they'll stop. There's a couple of days at each place, and they're in the water a good bit. So it's a good scientific study, and we appreciate them doing that, and it gives us something to go on. So that's the story on scallops. Okay, now I also want to mention about lightning. It's Monday afternoon, a storm blew up at my house, and it was one of those summer thunderstorms you've been talking about all the time. But I just sat there and watched it. I'm still in awe at the power, all those, albeit a short amount of time, but that wind comes in, those shear winds will come in, and every wave is white capping, and it just hits very strong. And I hope everybody has a respect for what's going on there. But anyway, it's just, you don't want to be caught in the water, especially in a smaller craft. So you see these dark clouds, get back to land, and I know you know that. I do want to show you. I want to talk a second about lightning. Lightning fascinates me, and that's the reason I didn't go fishing with my grandkids Saturday morning. I just thought there might be some lightning out there. Right now, we've only had 4 deaths this year. Check this map out. We've had 2 deaths in Florida, and 1 in Texas, and 1 in Oklahoma. Okay, and the 2 deaths in Florida, 1 at Jensen Beach and 1 at Pembroke Pines. But I always like to look up facts and share facts with you as I'm talking. But look at the lightning fatalities in the last 10 years. See, a good teacher always had facts, but then you got to make it interesting to the kids. Look at 2007, then it dropped down. So we really, last year only had 39 lightning deaths, and it tells you females and males, and it's 243 males and 66 females, okay? But a chart that I found so fascinating, I know you can't see a lot of this, but look at 1940, left column, the lightning fatalities in 1940, 340, 1941, 388. So, and then look at 44. So all these are 200 to 400. Now look, let's go down. I'm just going to scroll down. Look, they start decreasing. The lightning deaths in 67, there's only 88. Okay, look, and then all the way, look how it dropped off, and then, now there's only 40-something. The one reason why lightning deaths have dropped off in the United States, and that's a dramatic drop from like 400 or something down to less than 100 a year, And I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to try to figure out why lightning deaths have dropped off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Now listen, the reason they dropped off because we're not outside as much as we used to be. You think in the 40s and the 50s, how many people outdoors building stuff and outdoors farming and doing all kind of outdoor activity, having outdoors when we had. So a lot of people outdoors. Now, where are people? The young people inside doing this. Most people are working in air-conditioned buildings, and there's just not that many people outdoors doing stuff. And so that's the reason it's dropped off dramatically. But with that being said, it's still a very dangerous situation getting out there in the storms. I just want to throw that out at you for lightning. So it's good news on it that a lot less people are being exposed to it. I guess that's good news. They're not getting killed, but it's also a reflection of what's going on in America as far as people, getting outdoors. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Got to talk to my buddy Tony Bass last night from Valdosta. We're getting ready for our big King Michael tournament. I just got a good feeling. I was still excited last night talking to him about it. But the reason I called our buddy Wendy Colson, our number 3 on the fishing, we got a three-man team there. And Wendy had caught a Goliath grouper. They went down to Carabel this past weekend, and they caught a Goliath grouper. And I'm talking about a big one. We're talking about like a 400-pound Goliath grouper, and Wendy was able to get a little bit of footage. And they had, of course, you know, they're protected, so you got to catch them and let them go. But they're just huge fish. And they got this. I'm gonna run this video for you. Let me see if I can get it. I'll talk over it. Let's see. All right, they get it up here. All right, here it is here. So, of course, they're covered up from the sun. This is around midday and all. They got him up now. He was deep. He's about 100 feet. It wasn't all that deep, about 120 foot. Now, what they're doing, they're trying to get, he's got 3 or 4 hooks in him. They're trying to jerk those hooks out. Now, he's going to be okay. They're going to release him. He's just floating upside down now. But they're trying to get, they said the hooks were just hanging out of his mouth. You can imagine how many people he broke off. But it was about 6 foot long, about 400 pounds. And sometimes the video won't do it justice, but you can see that is a big fish. The Goliath grouper, and they have a wonderful lifespan, and they're strong, and they keep trying to break off the hooks. They got 1 or 2 hooks out, but some of them are just embedded in his lower jaw and the upper jaw. And I haven't talked to Wendy yet, but Tony was telling me about it. He talked to Wendy Sunday afternoon, and the fish is floating. And then of course they let it go, and it goes back down. It wasn't harmed at all, so that was a lot of fun. Several Goliath grouper been caught this past weekend, so they're moving in really good. So that's fascinating too. Now I want to, I told you I was going to finish up on the tarpon, and what happened on it. Here's let's see, part 2 on the tarpon. I already got an email from Donnie Copper want to know how to catch tarpon. I'm going to show you on Friday's show. We don't have time to get into today. On Friday's show, I want to show you about catching a tarpon and all, and we want to show you how to do it and where to go to catch a tarpon. Okay, but I was going to show you the reason that we quit tarpon fishing. I say we, I got to go back on the iPad. The reason we don't do it anymore because we talked about catching the billfish, and the guy that did it was Captain Knowles. Okay, I pulled up his picture. It's a fascinating story, and there's right there, Joe Knowles, and he's the one that he goes down to history as bringing the first marlin, the first billfish in here. And here's the situation, and what a great picture for the history of this area. And that's out by Captain Anderson's restaurant. That's Thomas Drive behind the fish. And Bill Lowther, that quote on the far right-hand side, that's from Bill Lowther. I knew Bill. He was a sports writer for the News Herald forever. And he wrote this in 1964 in August. I'm going to read you this quote because it's such a stir in town. Okay, quote. In our opinion, a full-blown hurricane or a recreation of Lady Godiva riding down Harrison Avenue at high noon couldn't have caused any more stir in these parts than Dr. Charles Wood's Big Blue Marlin. And that was the first one brought in. So when that happened, that sort of took the impetus away from catching tarpon, and everybody wanted, all the the guys who are coming down want to go sport fishing for the marlin instead of the tarpon. And yet the tarpon remained here. The tarpon didn't go away. The tarpon just stayed here, just wasn't targeted. And yes, we have a bunch of tarpon out there now. And now the more people, there's some guides that just specify, that's what they do, go tarpon fishing. And on Friday's show, I'm going to show the exact spots where a lot of these guides go. We've known about them a long time, and so we've had new guides move in and discover them. And we've had these old-time guides that have been here a while and know they're there. So, and for the recreational angler, it's a thrill. But a tarpon can be very, moody. They'll be 20, 30 out there and just pass up everything. You can throw everything but a kitchen sink at them, and they won't bite. The next day, you throw a tennis ball out there, and they'll bite it. That's just the way tarpon are. Okay. All right. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're looking at 3:15 and 5:15 this morning. That just wrapped up, but this afternoon, 3:38 to 5:38. Or later on in the afternoon, if those storms get out of here, that's an excellent time to go. Okay, and wrapping up our presentation on tarpon and part 2 presentation of tarpon, I do want to say that actually I did some, it's fascinating, like I said, all the research I did here locally. But really, it started in southwest Florida way back in 1885 when the first tarpon was caught here in Florida. And once that happened, the very wealthy guys would come down, and it became a mecca. and we had people coming over from England trying to catch a tarpon. So it was really, and it was sort of spread up in this area, and where our early tarpon here was in the early 1900s and all, and then but in southwest Florida, you know, where Boca Grande, that area is, Zane Grey in 1919 went down there, and he loved going there. He caught a huge one, and he wrote about it. And when he wrote about it, there's all kind of people. The presidents were fishing for him, and all kind of wealthy magnates came down. And Thomas Edison, you know, has a place in Fort Myers, and he loved fishing for the tarpon, and he never caught one. In fact, the winter he died, the summer he died, when he left Fort Myers, he said, "I'll be back next year and catch me a tarpon," and then he passed away after that. But he always fished for tarpon. He loved fishing for them. So it's just such a sport, it's such a thrill. And with that in mind, I've always wanted to go catch a big tarpon. And so we got together, Gail and I went down to Boca Grande. You know about the trip. It was several years back, and I was lucky, I was fortunate. I had a great trip. I had a video of a 125 pounder we caught a little bit earlier. And then towards the end, I was fishing with a couple, husband and wife, and Gail and I on a boat. We were just having a great time. And there were boats all over the place. And we hooked one, and I did everything opposite of what I was supposed to do. You always, you know, they're called a silver king, because that is the king of all the fish to catch. And you're supposed to bow to the king when you hook them, because you sort of give them some slack. So they always say, bow to the king. Well, when I saw that sucker coming up out of the water, that big one, he came up there and tail walked that first time. My mind went back to my bass fishing days as a teenager, and I just jerked. I did the opposite of what I was supposed to do. And the captain, he was, "Hey, oh my goodness, you've lost him." No, they're hollering and screaming, and we were all panicking, and not panicking, just scrambling and all. But anyway, stayed hooked. And Gail did a slideshow off of it, so I have a presentation of that coming up. But when we got it to the boat, it measured them and all, and it was right at 6 foot and 185 pounds. It was the biggest fish and most thrilling fish I ever caught. It was just a sensational trip we had. And they told me, you know, this was fishing on a Monday. They said if I'd caught that fish yesterday in the tarpon, you know, they used to have those tarpon tournaments down there for Saturday and Sunday, big old tournament. They said if I'd caught that fish then at that tournament, that would have won the tournament for the weekend. I mean, they were excited almost as I was, because it was a huge one. They were very proud of it too. So this is a little slideshow. It's got some music to it and all, and just, you know, it was just one of my most memorable outdoor experiences, and I attribute it to the tarpon that we caught, and we just had such a wonderful time. So we're going to end the show today with this little tarpon fishing trip we took down to Boca Grande. So you have a great day today. Enjoy this video and do something good for your fellow man, and let's enjoy it.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.